careful, please. That elite was an ultra.
Everyone needs to stop saying this phrase. Everyone needs to commit right now to never say this phrase ever again. It is said so much, and it is evil. It's wrong. We cannot say it anymore. And the phrase is, prophets are imperfect. Prophets are fallible. Now, on the surface, this is a true doctrine. Prophets are not infallible unless Jesus Christ himself has shown up to them and sealed their calling and election on their heads. At that point, they become infallible. But until that point, they are fallible. This is true, but stop saying it. This is a pet peeve of mine, and it just has started to bother me more and more. I keep hearing it. Never ever say it. Because what they're really saying, they're not saying that prophets aren't perfect. What they're saying is that Brigham Young isn't perfect. They're saying that Joseph Smith isn't perfect. Okay? That's who they're disavowing. This is a disavowal of past prophets, dead prophets. It is not a disavowal of the living prophet to say that prophets aren't perfect, because obviously a prophet who is alive is perfect. And so, I just want to challenge everyone, the next time you hear someone say, prophets aren't perfect, what you should say when you hear this is, I want to stop you right there. Say one negative thing about Russell M. Nelson, or whoever the current prophet is at the time. Say one negative thing right now, or you're not being honest. I can't think of anything. Say it. Say something you don't like about him. Say something that's imperfect about him. They won't be able to say anything. And that's because only dead prophets are imperfect. And this is something that we need to reject. Okay? I don't believe in death. Christ conquered death, and in Christ all are made alive. Joseph Smith is not dead. This is still his church. This is the Brighamite branch of the Restoration. We better respect them, okay? Maybe your understanding of them is perfect, okay? You don't even know them. You weren't there. All you are is just repeating a stupid phrase. And I'm sick of hearing it. If I gave my uncensored thoughts about Russell M. Nelson, I try not to be too negative because, I view them as allies, but I would do things very differently were I in charge. And I'm certain we would lose a lot of money and a lot of members faster than previously thought possible. But the members that we do have, the members that did follow me, would become better people. And for generations, people would remember me as the most imperfectest prophet. But I don't care, and neither should you. You got to be able to say something negative about people right now, or don't say anything at all, okay? See, I like Elder Bednar quite a bit. I think he's super smart. He's like a turbo autistic genius or whatever. I like a lot about him. I like what he said early in COVID about religious freedom and a bunch of things. He's cool. But just barely on my phone, I see this video that the church just released, Echoes of Paul, Teachings of Jesus Christ. And it's like slow-mo beach glamour shots with the tinkle piano and like the talking and spirit voice, okay? And in the back of my mind, I'm like, I swear you have to be like a super egotistical maniac to do this. It's just wild that people can see someone do this and it's like acceptable. Like if anyone did this who wasn't the member of the Quorum of the 15 or whatever, like people would be like, oh, they're so full of themselves. And it would be true. It would be true. And now, I don't think that Elder Bednar is an egotistical maniac, okay? But the church's PR department certainly must be employing them. In fact, I would wager a guess that the unordained shadow authorities that work for the church's PR department and manage all the Twitter accounts, what kinds of people have to be working there? What kind of sick, twisted people would think that taking pictures of themselves in front of a beach is a good idea, a good look, What kind of a sicko would think that? What kind of a sicko would think that dancing in public and posting it online is like a good thing that makes you look respectable and like a leader? I don't know. What kind of abominable creature would think like that? I can't put my finger on it. But certainly someone had the idea of the beach photo op. Bednar beach photo op. Ooh. What kind of a brain thought that one up? Okay? Wasn't a Bednar brain, I'll tell you that. It was not a man's brain. You know, Bednar, the guy who read the Book of Mormon like 6 million times and has them all filed away by topic, highlighting them based on what topic he was studying while he read them. That guy, that's the guy who hasn't changed his hairstyle in 7,000 years. He wants a photo op? I don't buy it. Something's fishy here. Something's not right. And when we think of a truly wise, like the archetype of a truly wise person, you know, this is going to sound silly, but, you know, like Yoda in the good Star Wars movie, the only one that's good. I like Star Wars, okay? But it's consistently disappointing. You know, Star Wars is a lot like the gospel. It started off great, then it got super cool, and now it kind of sucks, and it gets worse and worse, and the fans are still as diehard as ever. But anyway, I just feel like you have to be, when you have the tinkle piano, you're hypnotizing people. I don't want to put music on the sound of my voice. You know, if I talked like this and said that Jesus is your God and you need to love him and you need to love everyone, and then we put some tinkle piano down, suddenly you're being hypnotized. You're falling asleep. You know, it's crazy the way people talk over the pulpit. It just makes me mad. And if we think of like a Yoda character who's like a truly wise person, you know, one thing that's really shocking when you start reading a lot of these accounts of Joseph Smith is that he didn't always want to be called president. He just called me Brother Joseph. Brother Joseph, first name, you know. I don't know when we started calling people president. It's a little pretentious. There's all these accounts of Joseph Smith pretending to be drunk, pretending to be stupid, or saying things to people to test them. You know, pretending to not be Joseph Smith as people meet him and kind of ask them questions. And almost kind of this troublemaker, trickster guy that we see Yoda in the good Star Wars movie before the false doctrine was introduced in the 6th one that Leia and Luke are siblings. Lame, okay? You know, there were some cool parts in the 6th one. I'll admit it. It's like half of a good movie. And then the worst retcons that have set the entire trilogy down a path of darkness and woe. Now that I'm thinking about it, now that I'm saying it, Star Wars is basically like the gospel. Started out great, and now it sucks. And it's just gotten worse. And it's time that we go back. We need to go back. We need to remake Star Wars, rewrite the lore with Luke and Leia are not brothers. That's not good writing. You have to solve the love triangle like men. As soon as they started retconning the Luke and Leia and Han love triangle conflict, when they just wrote their way out of that, the Emperor had to tempt Luke with evil. Don't be evil, Luke. Do not let the evil tempt you with the evilness. He's like, how about you tempt him with something real? Tempt him with killing Han Solo. Now that would be dope. Strike down Han Solo, kill me, go home, and you get your Leia. And then Luke says, no, I'd rather die. And then Han gets Leia, and Luke has to be a terrestrial kingdom material, you know? That sounds like a good movie to me. None of this, oh, we were secretly brother and sister. Lame. Sorry, George, but that sucks, okay? We want a prophet who's like Joseph Smith. He's a bit of a trickster. You know, he's going to test people. Maybe one day he'll just go crazy on Twitter, say some crazy stuff just to shake out some of the weeds. Now that would be cool. That's the kind of imperfect prophet that I want. I wish my prophets were imperfecter. You know, I wish the living prophets would give us a little something to work with in terms of their imperfectness, because they put on this facade of total impenetrableness, counting on this whole doctrine of prophetic fallibility, which is really only there to shore up their impenetrable fortress of perfection. And really the only prophets who are truly imperfect are Brigham Young and Joseph Smith. I'm fed up with it. It's just lame, okay? Don't say that. Swear it. All those in favor say aye. I will never say this phrase, and I will stop all who say it in my presence from ever saying it ever again. Okay? I will burn friendships over this phrase. That's your oath. Now, go forth, my soldiers. Stop saying that phrase. It's bogus. We gotta be done with it. That's all. Just had to get it off my chest. I'm sick of it.